Oh, hey, hey, Oscar. I'm very well. So here we are in the studio of Óscar Vega, who is going to talk to us about some of the ideas behind his exhibition, The Red 1-1. Okay, Óscar, you've called this exhibition TROO, T-R-O-O, The Red 1-1. Now, I'd be interested if you could talk to me a little bit about why you came up with this title, because clearly red is the dominant color in this work, but you also use black and white, but no other colors. So maybe you could talk a bit about the title.
Well, in fact, there is the white is light, black is obscurity, and red is the only color.
Yeah.
So these are three colors, but in fact I'm using only one color. And the intention of that is making it simple. I don't want to get complicated with colors and just keep it very simple. That's the main idea.
Now red is a very dramatic color, but it can have many different meanings.
Well, this three color combination is very, very efficient. It has been used through history by many logos and flags and political symbols. It works very well when you want to keep simple.
We can think of lots of political and communications uses of these very striking colors, this combination of red, black and white. But I wonder, beyond that, what you mean. You talked earlier about the expressive ability of this particular trio of colors. So what for you is that expressive ability?
It should express emotions. I believe that any painting must go direct to emotions. And these three colors has this very wonderful ability. It's very emotional. It drives you intensely into emotions.
The predominance of emotion in the painting as a way of expressing feelings. In a way, that's how I paint myself, so I'm familiar with that. But I'm sure that you get asked the question, which can be very irritating when someone is confronted with this kind of work, which is, what are you trying to say? What does it mean? So how do you react to that kind of question?
Oh yeah, this is an absurd question. Each painting crystallizes the feelings of the author on the canvas. The work is like a bottle of perfume. Then when you open it, it expands the feeling throughout the whole room. And if you enter into a room and you don't feel the presence of a painting, something is not going well. You have to notice immediately the presence of this painting. A painting that doesn't make this effect of attracting attention, it's destined to oblivion.
This is your aim, is to make a statement, so that to open the bottle, you can almost say open the bottle and let the genie out, and to provoke some kind of reaction from the spectator. Is that right?
To provoke emotions is intentional. But I couldn't say it is conscious. In general, I don't think that the creative process is conscious. It is mostly the picture that creates itself. And the author, the painter, observes this process and reflects on it and interacts. I feel that I more a channel than any other thing. I believe it was the guy who said that a painter can do great things when he doesn't know what he's doing.
That's a very nice quote. That's certainly true. But let's go back a bit here, because you certainly knew what you were doing when you decided, I am only going to use red, I'm only going to use white, I'm only going to use black. So you've made this conscious choice for this simple combination of colors, which you've talked a little bit about already. What else was behind your decision to choose only red, white and black?
With this very few color combination, I try to go straight to the idea, not to lose myself into nuances. And above everything, I want these paintings to be transparent.
Transparent? That seems a bit of a strange thing to say for these pictures with these very opaque blacks and reds.
A painting is like a window. Both the painter and the spectator look through this window. But behind the window there is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Only the most absolute emptiness, mystery. And humans cannot look directly at nothing. That's why we paint, to camouflage the nothing. But the nothing is still there, it persists. And this is the reason I want my painting to be transparent, to let you see a little bit of this emptiness or darkness or mystery, but through the painting. This is a nice effect.
How should the artist approach this emptiness, this nothingness, this void?
Well, somehow the artist tries again and again to cover this emptiness. Mm-hmm. But he's not able of doing that. And he's displeased with the results. If he succeeded, a single work in the life of an artist could be enough. There will be no creativity and not productivity at all.
So the artist has to keep on. The artist has to keep trying, has to keep going on, which reminds me of something that Beckett said, which was try again, fail better.
The modern physics has found that if you go into the more tiny particles, mm-hmm. they appear from nothing and disappear. There is a constant flow between nothing and matter. It's very peculiar, and scientists are perplexed with that. So somehow we are made of nothing, but as human beings, we are not really able to look face to face to this nothingness.
So if we are frightened to look into this void, to this nothingness, what do we do? What happens, Óscar, when we look really deeply into a painting?
I have thought many times that if we could get inside a painting, let's imagine a very powerful landscape like Turner does, mm-hmm. or these colorful paintings of Van Gogh. If you could get into the painting, you would be terrified because you would notice immediately that there are holes between the brush strokes. Mm-hmm. So you will be able to confirm there is nothing behind the painting. And this is a very curious effect. I believe that we like this painting, we like these landscapes very much, because we would be very terrified if we could get into them, if they were the reality. Painting is somehow a veil that covers the emptiness, mm-hmm. or the void.
The brush strokes are like a veil that covers the void. That's a really nice expression. If we think of artists, which ones or which styles of art do you think best express that idea?
Abstract reflects this better than any other kind of style. The painting has been removing veils one after another as to arrive to almost nothing. Mm-hmm. There are very simple paintings, almost black or white, like Reinhardt or Tapies or Malevich. They paint just black, mm-hmm. black paintings, nothing inside. But it remains this effect of camouflage, mm-hmm. because of the frame, because of the contours, mm-hmm. of the painting. Mm-hmm. However, I believe there is time to recover image, to recover figures, to recover symbols, because, well, this path to total abstraction, mm-hmm. I believe it has somehow reached the end, or mm-hmm. the top possibilities. Mm-hmm. And I believe that art has to get a little bit back and get again to use images and use figures. I don't know, but I have this intuition.
So this void, this emptiness, are we really talking about death here? Is that what it's really all about?
Yes, of course. I think that the artist fears death. We all fear death. And art is a kind of answer for this fear. Now we talk about ephemeral art, but I think we are not totally honest with this, because every artist in some way looks for immanence. No one wants to die. We want to leave something here. And even if we don't say it, I really don't believe that any artist doesn't want to set down a work, to set down something for the future.
This seems to be rather a kind of tragic view of art, don't you think?
Life is a tragedy if we think about how it ends, but at the same time it's a constant space of creativity. We are fighting every second against entropy. We try to keep our structure, not only us, but nature in general terms, in all the physical objects. They try to keep their form, their shape all the time. And when it fails, everything disintegrates and we become grey dust.
Okay, so Óscar, you're saying we end up as grey dust, you know, dust to dust. So why bother doing anything? Why bother creating art?
Well, I believe, Paul, that in difference with the animals, the human being is obliged to give a sense to the world. We have to organize our minds, we have to understand what we see. This is culture in a way. The function of art is somehow structure the world. I believe that every one of us is an artist. We make art on every simple movement, on every simple creation we do. If you have to make a roof, you just need 3 lines. You could do this roof like this. You can do it like this. And then you have a Roman arch. And it's more a Gothic art. Or one with arabesques. You probably could go like this. And there we will be in Orient somewhere. In, let's say, this way. We would have a Frank Gehry building. For making a roof, you only need 3 straight lines. Everything that goes beyond is superfluous. And it is, for that reason, it is art, in my belief.
So art is superfluous? This seems a strange thing for an artist to say.
Look at this, Paul. It couldn't be more simple. And it's a piece of art. Probably the most simple vessel that we can conceive, but it is a decision of it means a decision of the person who made it. It's an art decision. I believe that art is all over our activity because it is involved with our representing capacity of the world. I love this piece. It's so round and simple. This is for water.
It's all is beginning to sound a bit depressing, a bit miserable, but when I look at your work, I see an awful lot of humor. I think when I first saw it, I said in Spanish it's lúdico tétrico, which is not easy to translate to English, but something like gloomily playful. So Óscar, how do you see the role of humor in your work?
You're right. I would say that my way of creating is rather ironic. I don't really know how we could face all things we're talking about without humor. Mostly when we know what is happening around us just a few kilometers from here in the Mediterranean, so many real tragedies in our surrounding. I truly agree with you that my paintings have a lot of humor inside. It's a kind of refuge. It's a kind of answer I try to give spontaneously for all these things that happen.
Oscar, you seem to be very fond of skeletons.
Oh, yes, I like skeletons, but I dare say that they are not, in my painting, they are not really skeletons. You see, they are unstructured. The body doesn't belong to the shape. So I use them more as metaphors of all this void, all this unknown mystery and future life. And I believe maybe I have something to share here with the popular Mexican culture.
Okay, Oscar, you've chosen two different ways of presenting your paintings in this exhibition. Maybe you could explain what you're trying to do here with these two different approaches to hanging the exhibition.
Well, in this exhibition, we are using the concept of Galerie Noire. Many of the paintings are shown in the traditional, conventional way with white walls, but other few paintings are shown in a very special and different way. They are installed in a dark room, completely dark room, and they seem to float in the air. I believe no one could make this at home, but for visiting a collection, for visiting a gallery, it gives some new value. I believe it's quite nice that.
And what about this? What about this other strange installation that you've come up with?
I call it the bathtub clock, which is essentially a bath with red water dropping, and the sound of the drops makes the time. So the whole idea of this is adding time feeling to the exhibition.
So, Oscar, what is there really of you in all these paintings?
Any painting has your hand there. It is your scream to all your ideas. Even if you make a still life painting, it's a portrait. Your hands are there. And even if you make a revisiting picture of a classical painting, of Velázquez, of whatever, you are putting your hands, your mind on it, and it becomes automatically, it becomes autobiographic.
But surely there's something more here. Surely there is something behind art, something behind the artistic impulse.
Yes, you could say that. In fact, I think that art has always been related with religion. And it's not only a question of that the church paid the artist, but it's a question of the mystery itself.
So how do you see the role of art in our lives today?
In such a way of seeing things, I could say that art now is very democratic, because everyone has more or less access to art, and we are very lucky of having this possibility, and you don't need to go to palaces or museums or churches to enjoy art. You just, nowadays you find art everywhere. There's art in our phones. We are surrounded by images, by sounds, by music, and I find this very good. I find the art nowadays is quite democratic.
Oscar, you've called this exhibition the Red One 1. Does that mean there's going to be a Red One 2, a Red One 3? Or are you going to do a series with different colors? What comes next?
Well, you're totally right. That's the very intention of the name. No one knows the future. But intentionally, this is the first exhibition, red, and I really have many ideas to continue pursuing on this red color. And why not? Probably in another time I feel that blue or green or is more like to show my feelings. So that's exactly what you said. I truly believe you're right.
thank you, Oscar, for answering these questions and for explaining a little bit the what's behind this this strange vision that you're showing in this exhibition, this world of skeletons, of homage to particular painters like Velázquez and Leonardo, this strange world that's dark and yet full of humor and very, very red.